And here's the host for the show, Jennifer Smith. I don't know if you've seen her. This is from the back.
Wow. Hockey. There is no other sport.
The foundation of a good hockey club is a good foundation.
That's right.
Quack like a duck.
Quack. Martin, Bradeur.
Wow.
Don't you love it? Doesn't get any better.
Why are you guys all here?
Shot, look out.
This is the Stanley Cup. You do what you have to do to win.
Because nothing else matters.
This is NHL Cool Shots. This week from Toronto, Cujo, a great name for a great guy.
Kind of caught on, and it was easy to say, and I think for kids, the nickname's fantastic.
And take a stroll down memory lane with a musical tribute to the rich 68-year history of Maple Leaf Gardens.
From 1931 to the present, there's no question that this is a historic building. It's a shrine to hockey, and it will always be.
Welcome to Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. Tonight, the NHL will bid farewell to the last of the original 6 arenas. This building first opened its doors 68 years ago and became home to some of the great players of the past, like George Armstrong, Boreas Salming, and Johnny Bauer. Currently, it's home to some of the brightest stars of today, like Matt Sundin and Curtis Joseph. This half hour will take you to the historic last game here at Maple Leaf Gardens as the Toronto Maple Leafs face off against the Chicago Blackhawks, just as they did on November 12, 1931, in the first game ever to be played right here on this ice surface. No doubt the evening will be filled with memories of the past, but right now we'll take a look into the future as Ty Domi and Glenn Healy give us a sneak peek of the Maple Leafs' new home, the Air Canada Centre.
Welcome to the Toronto Maple Leafs new dressing room at the Air Canada Centre. A house that Glenn Healy built. This is obviously where the sticks go, and they cage him in here because guys like he'll steal all the sticks and sell them to his neighbors and whatnot. This is the best dressing room in the National Hockey League right here. And I can honestly say that. This carpet's here because on game nights they're going to take this off.
Now they put a lot of work into all the different stalls. The goalie stalls are bigger, and they've used Canadian maple. What's harder, the Canadian maple or your head? It's a tie. It's your basic training room. This is where anyone who has an injury, they get treated on the tables. They have all this stuff here in the weight room.
Actually, this is Glenn Healy's weight set, which he works out with every day.
They also have a thing here for Ty, for height. See, it's set right at his height, 3'6".
This is the Glenn Healy workout right here.
Steam room, which is kind of nice. You could get probably close to a half an army in there. Seats about 15, nice and big.
This is my office where I make all my phone calls, of course. Get away from the little crowd with all the guys and everything. Phone back here. This is where it all happens. This is where boys, a few of the guys hang out when we want to be left alone. Get away from heels.
Unbelievable. To go along with the spa we call a dressing room, the most important part of the facility is the ice surface, where the game's played.
Thanks, Tips.
The new building holds 18,800 for hockey.
Boxes, we have boxes right around, pretty good seats, actually. I got one right over there, actually, in the corner.
The media gondola, which is now 3 times the size of the old media gondola, so that means that
he didn't think of that himself. They just told him
3 times the number of people in to report the games, the highlights, and the Ty Domi hat tricks.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to our new home.
Welcome and enjoy. It's the best building in the league. No doubt about it. And if you disagree, come and talk to me. I'll make you agree.
Well, thanks, guys. I can't wait to see a game in your brand new arena. Now, when it comes to magical moments here at Maple Leaf Gardens, the man joining me has been involved in a few of them. Darryl Sittler. Darryl, you still hold the record for most goals, most points ever scored in this building. 10 of those points coming in, of course, one game in 76. Every time you touched the puck that night, what was the atmosphere like in here?
Well, it was something magical and something special. I can remember after the second period, I had 7 points, and our statistician came in and said the record had been 8 by Rocket Richard at that time, and went out the start of the third period, about 3 minutes into it, scored another goal, and then the people in the building knew there was something special about this particular game. And then the last goal I scored, which was the 10th point, I was behind the net, and I was trying to pass the puck out to one of my wingers in the slot, Errol Thompson, and Brad Park stuck his leg out. It went between Dave Reese's legs, and that was a record of 10 points. But it was a special night. 23 years later, here we are, and most people in Canada remember where they were watching that game that night, or they still hold their ticket stub from it. So it was nice to score it here in this historical building of Maple Leaf Gardens.
Well, tonight we will find out who turns on the red light for the last time here at Maple Leaf Gardens. But right now, we take a look at some of the best goals of this week.
Thanks, Jen. 10 points is a hard act to follow, but that didn't stop these guys from trying.
Out of the corner, behind the goal, played it off the back of the net. What a play! It goes! Avenue right to the net, scores! Oh, what a nice goal! It's a 2-on-1. The pass, the shot, the goal!
Tough shot, not a problem.
That puck had eyes on it. Scores! Cesaro from a tough angle. The rebound, he scores! Famous Solani!
Goaltenders get points too.
Head to head. Here's Sullivan in the foot race. From Curtis Joseph. In a goal.
In overtime, a point is priceless.
Running into the net. Oh my goodness! What a shot by Jaromir Jagr! And the Penguins win it 6-5.
In LA, 2 goals in 3 minutes, and the Kings pointed in the right direction.
Behind the net to Arnett, shoots!
With the score tied in less than 3 seconds remaining, Joseph Stumble put an exclamation point on the evening. Not to be outdone, Vancouver's Todd Bertuzzi got to the point as well.
The Bertuzzi turns, goal!
Coming up, some lucky Leaf fans win a chance to celebrate the closing of their favorite arena. NHL Cool Shots is brought to you by Powerade. Keep moving, keep pushing, keep playing. By Speed Stick, tough 24-hour protection. By Air Canada, the official airline of the NHL in Canada. And by Nike. The hottest half hour on TV featuring the coolest game on earth will return after these messages.
My day starts here, but who knows when it'll end. That's why I use new Speed Stick Ultimate Deodorant. It's formulated to give you antibacterial protection that kills odor. I know I can count on Speed Stick to provide protection for a full 24 hours. Because 9 to 5 just doesn't exist anymore. New Speed Stick Ultimate Deodorant for tough 24-hour protection.
It ain't about heaven. It ain't about hell. It ain't about going into battle with the enemy. Or getting your game face on so tight, you can't even smile. Winning beats losing, but it ain't about that either. It's about how you feel when the ball does what you want it to, and the voice in your head goes, yes.
All right.
Now back to NHL Cool Shots.
What year did you win the Stanley Cup with?
48, 49, and 50, 51.
It's time now for some Hockey 101.
On this week's Moriarty Minute, we're talking about hockey shots. And who better to talk with than Lucky Luke Robitaille himself. Lucky, what are we going to talk about this week?
Well, this week we're going to see the wrist shot, the snap shot, and the slap shot.
Lock and load. Fire and score!
For the wrist shot, what you want to do is turn your wrist and actually at the same time use your body weight. So you kind of bring the ball back, and then as you shoot, you roll your wrist towards the target. Sergey moving it, score! The snapshot is a little shot that you use around the net, and you want to shoot as quick as possible, and you never want to bring your stick too far back. It's maybe a few inches back, and you just shoot it as quick as you can.
Pass ahead to Robitaille, shoots, he scores!
This is the big boy. This is what everybody wants to do, is the big slap shot. I personally don't use it that much. I like the snapshot because it's quicker, but for the big defenseman or when you're a little bit further out, you bring it back, and a real good slap shot is when you use your legs, or your transfer where you bring it back and you use your legs in, just like this, and then you take it a good shot. And hopefully it goes in the net. That's it, the wrist shot, the snap shot, and the slap shot.
Now, Luke, that's great, but how about the backhand? Thanks, Luke.
You're welcome.
Tonight's festivities extend far beyond Maple Leaf Gardens. This is the street scene outside of the Gardens where an exclusive party is taking place in this giant tent that spans 2 city blocks. But no doubt, whether you're inside or out, it is a special night for everyone.
The Last Call event was an exclusive party for 2,000 contest winners who helped celebrate the Leafs' final game at Maple Leaf Gardens.
Oh, this party's great. It's not as good as being inside, but it's great.
At the Gardens, media presence was heavy, even hours before the game, as everyone was trying to capture this historic night. As fans entered the arena, most were thrilled and some had a special way of getting in.
These are the people who have won the lottery tickets. From what I understand, 505 pairs.
Oh, it's wonderful. Oh, it's great.
I won these 2 tickets from my dad.
As the crowds gathered and the final preparations were made, fans were getting their last taste of Maple Leaf Gardens and made their intentions known.
Go Leafs! Go Leafs! Go Leafs!
Let's go Leafs!
Go Leafs go! Glad everybody's here! Go Leafs go!
Let's go Leafs! Last game, Maple Leaf Gardens!
In cool cuts, the Leafs feed it with the candy skins.
There'll be room for everyone. We're not saying goodbye. We're just saying hello to a better life.
This one belongs to the Maple Leafs.
And if you want it, you got it. You need it, you love it. You say that you need it, you never ever leave it. But you want it, you got it. You said you really love it, but you don't know what it is until it's gone, gone, gone. And if you want it, you got it. You need it, you love it. You say that you need it, you never ever leave it. But you want it, you got it. You said you really love it, but you don't know what it is until it's gone, gone, gone. You want it, you got it. You need it, you love it. You say that you need it, you never ever leave it. But you want it, you got it. You said you really love it, but you don't know what it is until it's gone, gone, gone. You said you really love it.
Up next, meet the man behind the mask.
Curtis Joseph is quite a competitor on the ice, but off the ice, Stevie's got a heart of gold.
If we can bring a smile to a kid's face just for one night, then we've done our job.
NHL Cool Shots will be right back.
There were days when I never thought I would ever get back to doing this.
Last year, Paul Stewart was given the gift of a healthy son.
He's got his referee's uniform on, and there's his tie.
And within 12 hours, he learned he had cancer.
I was never one to give up without a fight.
Okay! I'm Katie Couric. This year, the hockey world joins Paul in his fight. It's a battle we must win because we're in a fight for our lives.
Charging. It's always going to be a gift. It's always going to be a gift for me.
My day starts here, but who knows when it'll end. That's why I use new Speed Stick Ultimate Deodorant. It's formulated to give you antibacterial protection that kills odor. I know I can count on Speed Stick to provide protection for a full 24 hours. Because 9 to 5 just doesn't exist anymore. New Speed Stick Ultimate Deodorant. for tough 24-hour protection.
Now let's see Gretzky do that.
Excuse me? What did you say? How about a little 5-on-1 for some Big Macs?
Okay.
At my rink.
Nice work, genius.
So, same time next week?
Yeah!
Welcome back to NHL Cool Shots.
The last Maple Leafs game ever to be held in Maple Leaf Gardens is about to get underway. Now, there have been many great games here at the Gardens, as well as many great goalkeepers, including the man who will be minding the net tonight, Curtis Joseph. I spoke with him earlier today.
Shot stopped by Joseph. Clear! Stopped by Joseph. And it's down.
You're about to participate in a very historic game. From a player's perspective, what does it feel like to be a part of something this magnitude?
Well, there definitely is a lot of hype involved with the last game, and rightfully so. It's you know, hockey's huge here in Toronto, and original 6 building from 1931, about to close. It's there's a lot of hype surrounding it, but I think once the puck drops, our focus will be to win the game.
Unbelievable save by Joseph!
The Maple Leafs have such a rich tradition when it comes to goaltenders. I mean, some great guys have graced the ice at Maple Leaf Gardens. When you first slipped that Maple Leaf sweater on and stepped out on the ice as a goaltender for the first time, did you have a sense of all of that history?
Well, yeah. Coming into the building, you see all the great names on the wall, and I've met Johnny Bauer quite a few times. He's a great man, and to actually put the jersey on and go out on the ice as a member of the home team for the Maple Leafs, you know, I looked down at the shirt and saw the Maple Leaf, and I was pretty proud.
Now, I know during your time in Edmonton, you had a box there, and you had a program going called Cloud9, and I know that you've acquired a box here. Tell me what your plans are here and what you're going to do with it.
Well, through the Toronto Maple Leafs and myself and Nancy and 3 hospitals here in Ontario, we have a box for kids who are terminally ill or you know, long care patients at hospitals, and you know, they get to come out of the hospital and you know, have hot dogs and pizza and have a good night, and if we can bring a smile to a kid's face just for one night, then we've done our job.
Curtis Joseph is quite a competitor on the ice, but off the ice, Stevie's got a heart of gold.
Now your nickname, Cujo.
McCarron rips a shot, and Cujo's got it.
For those that may not know, why don't you tell them how that started, when it started?
Well, it's a derivative of my name, Curtis Joseph, first 2 letters, C-U, and first 2 letters of my last name, J-O. We put the mask with it, the Stephen King novel. He wrote a novel about a mad dog. I think it was a St. Bernard, and so we went with that painting on the mask. And you know, kids love it, and you know, it's a great nickname.
Have you read the book, seen the movie?
Seen the movie, haven't read the book. I hear the book's better.
The book is pretty good. I mean, after seeing the movie, though, do you see the connection?
Oh yeah, definitely. I can see the connection. Very hairy. I think that's it.
Well, when it comes to power performers, Dennis Goodwin can certainly fit into that category. Dennis, you have worked here at Maple Leaf Gardens for how long?
Just over 50 years.
Now, have you always been an usher here?
Yes, mostly. I have also done a few errands for Conn Smythe. When he wanted a racing form, I'd be going out in the rain picking one of those up.
Well, I'm sure during your time here, you've certainly seen your share of great hits and saves. Right now, we're going to take a look at the week's best in power performers.
Racing is definitely a good theme for this edition, as the pace is high for these hits and saves.
Janny Mitrokowski and a big glove save by Dunham. Oh, was that a great save? The knee. Punch it in front. Save by Richter. Oh, what a hit. Oh, what a clincher. Oh, welcome to the NHL. Oh, look out. Boy, there's his body flying all over the place. Oh, man, what a hit. Hit by Kachuk. Got wide. Kachuk fires, and he scores. Or does he? No, he did not. The fans all thought it was in, and I so sure that was going in. Trickles to the front of the net, and Steve Seals with the save of the game, and maybe his save of the season. Forsberg breaking in, turns it front, saved by Van Beestrom. A remarkable save by John Van Beestrom to rob a goal. Forsberg with the pass. Denmark thinks he has one. How about Joe Sakic, 19? Oh, it's got to be in, right? Wrong. Can he believe it? Oh, I can't either.
Still to come, the game that closed the history books.
And now, the final game for the Maple Leafs at historic Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
Hi, I'm Lanny McDonald, and stay tuned for more great moments from this historic night, the closing of Maple Leaf Gardens.
There's a simple truth about winning. At Air Canada, it's something we share with the entire nation. First, define your limitations. And then, defy them.
She took us by storm in Nagano. Now she takes Canada by storm in a world premiere television special from Kitchener, Ontario. Let's have fun with Tara Lipinski and her friends Kurt Browning, Scott Hamilton, Rudy Galindo, and many more. Olympic and world champion at 16, she's only scratched the surface of her talents. Introducing the spectacular Tara Lipinski, Sunday night at 8 on CBC.
You're watching NHL Cool Shots. NHL Cool Shots is brought to you by Speed Stick, tough 24-hour protection. By Air Canada, the official airline of the NHL in Canada. By Powerade, keep moving, keep pushing, keep playing. And by Nike. Next week from Anaheim, Travis Green and Marty McInnes take us on a tour of the happiest place on earth.
Well, what do you say we go on the rocket ride?
Sounds good to me. But while we're waiting in line, why don't you check out what our goalie, D.A. Bear's doing?
I'm sure he's not on the bike right now, that's for sure.
That's for sure.
That's right, guys. He's not on his bike. At Hamilton College, A. Bear learned a better way to work out.
Holy jumping!
Time has expired here at Maple Leaf Gardens in what was the last NHL game to ever be played in this building. In 1931, it was Mush Marsh that scored the first goal in this building, and 68 years later, it was Bob Probert who scored the last. Right now, we'll take a look at what will go down in the history books as a classic showdown.
Fans flocked to Carlton Street with the same enthusiasm they had in 1931 when Harold Mush March scored that historic first goal. In the final game at Maple Leaf Gardens, another Blackhawk would record the game opener.
Break in far side, angle shot, save Johnson, rebound, score! And the Chicago Blackhawks will go on top 1-0. Tony Amati on the rush down ice.
Chicago built a 3-goal lead with the help of ex-Maple Leaf Doug Gilmour.
Near side, Gilmour off the board, he scores! 3-0. And Gilmour has picked up a goal against the team he used to captain.
The Leafs showed their never-say-die attitude in a hard-fought second period as they rallied behind their loyal fans.
Looking for Thomas. Shot, score! He got there! Steve Thomas! Here's the I'll say the Leafs have climbed back in on Derek King's goal.
The lead was cut to 1, but Chicago would eventually pull away. Bob Probert collected the final goal as the Blackhawks completed the sweep of the first and last games ever played at Maple Leaf Gardens.
How do you say goodbye to a building that's seen 68 years of hockey history? Well, over 100 alumni, along with players of the present and dignitaries, are taking to the ice to honor their past and to look to the future and making new history in the Air Canada Centre. We say goodbye for the last time from Maple Leaf Gardens and leave you with a look of the closing ceremonies.
We're competing with New York and Boston, so we decided we had to have a new arena.
This great and admired lady has been just fine since 1931. Thank you.
Primo, Jackson, and Conacher are skating out there all ready to go for this historic event where the NHL is starting in Maple Leaf Gardens.
There is nothing quite like a goal scored at Maple Leaf Gardens.
For a lot of people, there has never been a place quite like this and never will be again.
And the Toronto Maple Leafs win the Stanley Cup.
You know, this is always an imaginary place. It's always a place that you fantasize yourself being, and fantasize yourself being mostly as a player, and maybe someday as a fan, and actually having that fantasy come true. And I think that's why a place like this matters in that way. Again, it's not the quality of the individual concrete things. It's what they all represent, in your own imagination.
The first couple of times here, you're a kid, you're all wide-eyed, looking all around and all the history and tradition and that, and just spending some great time with your father.
No question that this is a historic building. It's a shrine to hockey, and it will always be.
As league president Hugh Dryden said the other day, the book is not closed. It's not the end. It's the end of a chapter, maybe.
Fans, take this flag to our new home, but always remember us.
And in one of those containers up there is a mask he's going to use for closing, which can't be unveiled till the closing. So.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You want to bet?
Come on.
No, I can't. Sorry. Maybe I'll sneak it later. This, it's locked. This is the coach's office. Heel spends a lot of time in the coach's office. I know you've been in Chicago for a while.
Exit stage left. There's a million comedians that work. You're not even funny.